Today we are moving on with this pelvic tilt. So anterior, posterior pelvic tilt, which one are you? Are you able to move through those two positions in the cat-cow tabletop position? So if you have decided, yes, I think I can do that, just fine. I want you to now take it another step further. And even if you can't, we're going to work on this next exercise. So this is an exercise that I have learned from Katie Bowman, and this is called, she calls it click clack. So all we're doing is we are trying to tilt our pelvis forward and back. And what we are working towards is getting this pelvis to be able to move through a position. So if I were to ask you to lay down, you wouldn't like flop onto your back. So a good movement pattern with this is being able to roll down basically one vertebrae at a time to go down onto the floor. A lot of people get stuck. If they are unable to go into a posterior pelvic tilt, they might go here and then bam. Okay? So if you struggle with that, then this is an exercise you need to work on to start getting that mobility, that movement through the pelvis. So all we're going to do is we're going to place our feet. You see me? You can. So we're going to place our feet on the mat, and we are going to sit up nice and tall. Now, I like to kind of steer by bringing my feet up. I feel more comfortable doing that. So depending on your comfort, might depend. I feel like anytime I flex my feet, I'm able to move through the back side a little bit more to help with this movement. So we're going to go forward. We're going to try to sit up as tall as we can, going up onto our sits bones, and then we're going to roll back, kind of rounding under our tailbone. So this is a click-clack motion, and when I'm doing this, as I come back up, I'm not doing it through my back. I'm doing it through my legs, so I'm going to pull my heels towards me. That's going to fire on the hamstrings and help me lift up, and then I'm going to round back. And I'm going to lift up, and I'm going to round back. So all you're doing is here. Like I said, it's not a here movement, so you might see movement occurring, but I'm not moving through my upper back, okay? This is all my pelvis. So I'm going down, pushing my heels away from me, and then I'm pulling my heels towards me. And I'm pushing my heels away, and I'm pulling towards. So once you have this, and you feel comfortable with this, then you can move on to like a Pilates roll or just a roll backwards. So here we're going to roll down and then roll up. Now, if you deal with split abs or diastasis recti, or maybe you don't know what that means, if when you are rolling up, you see, here, I'll make it happen because this is an area I struggle with. I don't know if you can tell, but if you see a belly pooch, I'm trying to make it pooch right now. If you see that when you roll up, this pooch here, that has to do with your pressure system. And I encourage you to go back and watch the videos that I have. It's a 5-part series on low belly pooch. So go back and watch that if you notice that. And if you have questions, if you notice it, you have questions, I have a course coming out that will help you with all of that. It's a 6-week course. So definitely reach out to me with those questions. But we're just going to now roll down and roll up. And I like to breathe out when I roll up. You can even take it a step further and do a full roll. So you're going to roll and roll. This will really show you what your pelvis is doing. If you don't slap back onto the mat, then you probably have good movement through your pelvis. So that is your test today. If you do a roll back and you slap back onto the mat, stop doing that. Go back to our click clacks, work on the click clack, so posterior, anterior pelvic tilt, work on getting some movement in there. I will also be providing you some exercises over the next 2 days of stretches that you can do to start releasing some of the tension spots that you may have, which is preventing you from getting that full movement pattern.